you. Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining our session today. My name is Rishad, and I'm the Principal Product Manager at MediaValet. I manage a few different areas of the product, and understanding how AI can benefit our customers in a practical way is definitely one of them. Kutibh?
Yes. Hi, thank you, Rishad. And good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you're joining us from. My name is Kutibh Chihabi, and I'm a product manager of integrations here at MediaValet. My background actually stems from learning and memory. I've earned a doctorate in neuroscience, and I'm really passionate about bridging human insights with machine intelligence. Ultimately, my goal is to help our customers unlock efficiency within their workflows, which will help create time and space for creativity in their content operations. And I'll actually pass back to my colleague Rishad, who's going to tell us a little bit more about some objectives for this webinar.
Thank you. To frame the discussion, let's start with what we set out to do today in the next 20 minutes or so. We're going to explore the foundational shift that AI is bringing to the digital asset management landscape. AI technologies are evolving super fast. It's on the news every day. It's basically everywhere. Honestly, it's been fascinating to watch since about 2022 when OpenAI introduced ChatGPT. Today, we'll break down some of the biggest trends we're seeing, flag a few challenges we have heard about, and most importantly, share a path forward that can help you and your team get ready for what's coming next. It's a journey, really, for all of us. It's a progression from a system that requires a lot of manual attention, a bit siloed, to a fully AI-ready intelligent DAM. What we envision is where AI is embedded right into our everyday workflows. This is when asset enrichment, routing, and even compliance begin to feel effortless. Let's understand a little bit about content-driven revolution that we're in right now. We all understand that a revolution is underway. There's just no doubt about that. I had the chance to connect with a lot of DAM users, admins, and partners a couple of months ago at the DAM LA conference. We had a really good face-to-face conversations about AI in general. One of the topics that kept coming up is that how do we get ready for AI? How do we get ahead of AI? How do we prepare ourselves and the systems we manage to fully leverage all the AI services that are being rolled out? And how do we get to a state of empowered adaptation? What are the fundamentals we need to have in place to fully leverage what AI will bring in the future and in the long-term future? One is our system readiness. This is really crucial. Without readiness, AI turns into noise. Readiness means you have curated data, an unified source of truth, and systems that speak the same language. It means your taxonomy is enforced, your security permissions are respected, and your metadata is fully trustworthy. Kutibh has a great slide on this where he'll dive more into the topic a little bit later. And fundamental number two is taking full advantage of your curated content through the power of AI. This means taking asset engagement of existing content to new heights. Let's dive a little bit deeper into asset engagement. Digital asset management systems are now coming with a plethora of integrated AI services. Whether you talk about audio, video, image intelligence, AI-powered people recognition, object and sentiment detection, or attribute-free semantic discovery, AI is working behind the scenes using their language models to curate and classify assets better than ever before. Imagine that your winter campaign images and content from 2 years ago in the DAM was really successful and had massive engagement. We want users to be able to reuse them when applicable, easily create variations of them, and save massive amounts of time. When we have everyone using the DAM, discovering assets based on context and engaging with them to create and collaborate on new value creation, the DAM becomes alive. It's no longer a passive archive anymore. Kutibh, I think you have some great stories on this, so I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you for that, Rishad. Yeah, now I'll actually showcase some real customer case studies where some of this assistive AI has already been implemented with some phenomenal results. So let's first start talking about The Chosen, which is a globally distributed TV series with a massive asset library used for marketing, fundraising, and merchandise. The Chosen faced challenges of managing a rapidly growing library. Imagine, for example, managing hundreds of hours of footage, actor stills, behind the scene shots, and marketing promos. Really, what they needed was scalability. And so they turned on video intelligence, where the system transcribes dialogue, generates captions, and even makes foreign language versions accessible faster than ever. With artificial intelligence, they were able to create a single source of truth for their creative teams, their distributors, and their partners. This led to faster approvals, better compliance, and lower cost of distribution. Now, if we look at another customer, the Toronto International Film Festival, TIFF managed a vast collection of promotional, archival, and event-based assets. Things like headshots, film stills, event photos, archival promos, really a massive operation. And when they brought in MediaValet, they layered AI right on top of their workflows. They used auto tagging to generate metadata at scale, face recognition to instantly identify actors and speakers, and rights metadata to ensure everything that they pushed out was legally compliant. The impact was massive. They cut duplicate assets by 25%. They improved their search times dramatically, and they enabled internal teams to collaborate seamlessly across departments and time zones. It wasn't just about being more efficient, but rather it really was about being more strategic. And with that, now we'll go back to Rishad, who will speak a little bit more to us about how the future of asset management is unfolding with the introduction of AI.
Thank you, Kutibh. Really awesome examples of practical use of AI there. As product managers, we love hearing about these stories, so thank you for that. So far, we have talked about two fundamentals of empowered adaptation of AI. Now let's look into how AI is reshaping the future of digital asset management. At the very foundation, we have intentional knowledge management. It's not about just storing media content anymore. Any reference information we have on products, guidelines, or projects should all be curated properly within the DAM. I know Kutibh will be going through some great examples of this shortly. Fundamental layer 2 is effective governance of knowledge and content. With the prolific use of AI, privacy and security of content is more important than ever before. This was another top topic of discussion at DAM LA conference this year. If you're managing a DAM or any other system for that matter, you must ensure that proper permission controls are enforced to protect your sensitive information. Once you have foundational layers 1 and 2 in place, which are knowledge management and governance, we are then at a place where we can start unlocking the value and promise of AI. In the last few years, our industry has come a long way with AI-driven keyword and attribute tagging, semantic search, etc. These have really helped to get asset engagement up within the DAM. And now we're seeing a shift towards agentic AI, which I like to think of as purpose-driven, tailored use of AI. We'll come back to talking about the vision and an intelligent DAM, but before we do that, Kutibh, I'll pass it to you again to talk a little bit more about agentic AI.
Thanks, Rishad. Indeed, let's discuss a little bit more about what's driving the industry in the near term. As you can see on your screens, I like to refer to the AI revolution in DAM imagined as a set of expanding megaphones. That's how we view AI providing exponential value at each stage of development. So, for example, starting first with low-code automations. Right now, many customers in the industry are employing automations through apps like Zapier, where marketing teams can now build a mini pipeline in an afternoon. For example, an automation could be set up based on a trigger. So, for example, when an asset is approved, immediately post a resized thumbnail to our SharePoint and ping Slack. No code, no Jira ticket, no waiting for the next sprint. You can deploy the automation at your flexibility, which will lead to faster distribution and a real-time sync between creative and go-to-market teams. Next up, I view as human-in-the-loop metadata. So here's like a simple truth a lot of us these days are starting to become acquainted with. AI is fantastic until it gets it confidently wrong, right? We let AI do 90% of the grunt work, things such as auto tagging, optical character recognition, scene detection, etc. And that empowers librarians or brand guardians to accept, reject, or correct. In the future, we envision that this feedback doesn't just polish the current asset, but rather one day it may train the model to tomorrow's ingestion, becoming smarter and smarter. Essentially, it's kind of like crowdsourced QA, but inside the safety of your own governance framework. The middle stage, where what I'm referring to as content engagement, this is where AI is going more from a back office tagging robot and becomes more of an on-demand discovery engine. So, things like smart image search, right? Vision services can identify thousands of objects, scenes, even text within a photo, and then surface the exact shot you need with a plain language query, such as sun-drenched skyline at dusk. No need to search for endless folders and categories to find the asset. Smart tags take the same idea into creative teams by auto-generating contextual keywords such as architecture, parish, even seasons, so marketers can find assets in seconds. Second, there's video intelligence. So APIs from Microsoft Azure will scan every frame for faces, logos, on-screen text, and spoken words, all of which are user editable. They break into a 90-minute webcast, for example, into searchable clips. So for example, you can ask, show me every segment where our CEO appears and the word sustainability is spoken. Third, AI watches how users interact. As AI evolves, we envision that models will be able to one day track each click, download, or playlist. By doing so, these events become a micro signal, and pattern mining models may one day be able to spot which images lift conversions, which demo videos resonate in a specific geolocation, or which product angles attract the most press mentions. AI-driven engagement turns this needle in a haystack search into a conversational experience and feeds usage back into the system so that discovery continues to get faster and faster and richer as well without you lifting a finger. The stage after content engagement is where things really start to get exciting, I think. I refer to the stage as the augmented recommendations. So for example, imagine planning your summer social campaigns. And then during that planning, the DAM will pop up a card for you. Last July's beach images click-through has spiked by 28%. I've resized, and again, this is the AI speaking, I've resized the top 3 performers to 1080 by 1080 and paired them with your updated logo. Do you want to approve? One click and you've now reused proven content, saved your designer hours, and stayed perfectly on brand. The key word here is augmented. The AI suggests and you decide. The goal is to shorten the distance between insight and action, not necessarily to remove humans from that review cycle. Now, recommendations are only as good as signals that you capture. So if download events aren't tied to campaign results, or if campaign results live in a siloed BI tool and not in the DAM, AI has no feedback to work with. And so integrations really matter, content matters. So continue to utilize the DAM as your source of truth for all your asset management today, as that will empower the future. And that brings me to the final and largest cone, agentic AI. I think a lot of us have spoken or heard about agents in artificial intelligence lately. And this is where we transition from tell me what to do to go do it and then tell me how you did it. Think autonomous agents. So agents that watch real-time analytics, choose an alternate banner when performance dips, generate a fresh derivative if no suitable asset exists, and log the entire decision chain for an audit. We're not all the way there yet, but every low-code zap that you perform, every librarian correction, every asset engagement metric that you capture is starting to lay those data rails for that autonomous future. And ultimately, we envision a day where every click, every download, every share becomes a micro signal in which the system will learn which images drive conversions, which training videos land with regional teams, and which product angles attract press coverage. Armed with that telemetry, AI will begin to surface patterns that humans may miss, and especially in libraries with hundreds of thousands of assets. And so I think the question that we have is, given all of this change that we're experiencing, how do you prepare your team? How do you prepare your library and your organization to be ready for that revolutionary change? And on the next slide, we're going to actually share some preparation tips for you and your team on how to prepare for that future. Step one, track assets, right? Whenever a customer asks, where do we actually start with AI? My answer is right here, track assets. Think of it as issuing every asset as its own passport, a unique file name, or even better, some sort of immutable ID that never changes no matter where that asset lives, right? No matter if it's in the cloud, the drive, or some workstation it's passing through, make sure that naming convention is mandatory at the time of upload. And also make sure that you're associating machine readable consent and rights with that asset. So release dates, geographic restrictions, expiry fields, anything that a future agent will need to instantly decide if a clip is safe to publish should now start to be associated in your attributes and metadata. Step two, control access. This is where IT, legal, marketing finally are high-fiving each other. Begin with this role-based permission at the folder or category level. And if, for example, if finance never needs raw product photos, don't even let them see that folder. One less accidental leak. Visual watermarking on download and version control on every save. So if someone drags a file, like, for example, logo finalish into a pitch deck, the watermark will remind them that it's a draft. And so version history will let you roll that back before it hits the trade show booth. As AI becomes more agentic, you'll need to start building in these fail safes to ensure that assets you're utilizing are the correct ones and not out of date. Step three, boost discoverability, right? This is where prep work finally pays off. Turn on auto tagging, but don't stop there. Encourage your users to save frequent searches as presets, so a single click will return the perfect shortlist of assets. Schedule monthly category tied-ups, merge duplicates, retire obsolete terms, align new tags with marketing campaigns. All these tweaks are going to clean up your library that will feed AI one day with better signals to really create this recommendation engine that we envision. And if you do these 3 steps in order, you're not just AI ready, you're really building your library in a way that gets smarter and faster every quarter. And with that, now we'll go back to Rishad, who will tell us a little bit more about where he sees agentic AI headed.
Thanks, Kutibh. That was a really awesome overview. I love the readiness checklist. I'm going to use it myself, I think, because we also use MediaValet, right, in the company. Yeah, agentic AI and how we can train and tailor them is really, really exciting. Now, it's not easy to predict what the state of cutting edge AI will be like in a year or two because things are just moving really, really fast. But we're seeing that companies like Anthropic are introducing common communication protocols for AI agents that interact with various systems. They call it USB-C for AI applications, which is really interesting. So if you're having to work with various systems throughout the day to get your job done, imagine what could be unlocked if those systems came with agentic AI capabilities and those agents could talk to each other. In other words, a way to orchestrate multiple AI agents to accomplish a shared goal. For example, an AI agent analyzes customer data from your CRM or web analytics tool to segment audiences and identify preferences. The DAM agent then could suggest the most relevant assets for each segment. These tailored assets can then be deployed to your marketing automation platform, ensuring the content fully resonates with your target audience. This can be really powerful for your everyday workflow. So with the right foundations in place, the future vision of the DAM is one where we're free from doing repetitive tasks. An intelligent DAM that can act on your behalf or surface information for a review so that we can focus more on creative tasks, problem solving, or critical strategic initiatives. That's the dream. That's the vision. Thank you again for joining us today. I hope that you have some key takeaways from this session. If you have any thoughts, questions, or even ideas, please do reach out. We always love hearing from you. And with that, I think we'll move to some Q&As.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Rishad and Kutibh. That was really interesting. Sounds like the future is going to hold some very exciting changes. So with that, looks like there's a couple of questions been trickling through. So I'll I'll leave it up to you, Rishad and Kutibh, who wants to take these questions. But the first one that's come in is so there are so many AI services, probably will be more in the future. How can we keep our sensitive information fully secured?
Yeah, good question. Kutibh, do you want to talk about that, or should I take that one?
Go ahead, Rishad. I think that's better suited for you.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really good question. Thank you for whoever submitted that one. In the short term, our goal is to introduce more AI capabilities within the DAM itself. So look out for new and interesting things on our roadmap. But with where the industry is headed, right, with agentic AI and what we're talking about, we envision that an intelligent DAM would be able to communicate with different systems, right, and different AI agents. So for sure, in the future, what we envision is that our system will be able to kind of like look into any different systems that you work with today, any agents, and they should all be just working seamlessly. That's the goal.
Okay, very cool. Another one that popped up is how will AI replace our librarians?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'll take
Yeah,
this one if that's okay, Rishad.
sure. Go ahead.
So I think like the short answer is it won't, at least not in any foreseeable horizon. I think it'd be important to kind of think of AI as a forklift in a library warehouse. So it moves boxes faster, but you still need experts to decide what gets stored, where, and why. Recent studies and industry articles all show that while AI can tag images or transcribe video, it's not really at the level where it can curate taxonomy or negotiate usage rights or champion brand integrity the same way a trained librarian can. I think it's important to realize that artificial intelligence is really good at combining resources for you and integrating a large amount of data and recommending changes, but it doesn't have the oversight that an individual does. And if you go back to this, human in the loop design that we spoke about earlier, it's actually a best practice that Google recommends, precisely because humans can catch nuances that models may miss. Really, what we're seeing is a shift in focus. AI handles repetitive tasks such as bulk tagging, duplicate detection, etc. And that's freeing librarians up to do more work that is higher value and frees them up for more creative operations.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So good to hear that AI won't be taking all of our roles anytime soon then. Um, One more. Can we bring our own AI instead of using yours?
I think we went through that one. That
Okay.
was the first one. So is there another one that we can? How much time do we have?
I think we have time for one more. Okay, this one,
I mean,
cool
I can really
checklist.
quickly address that, right?
Yeah, okay,
Honestly,
fair, yeah.
I think it's important to know that right now the way we're building out our integrations leverage the Azure services, and so a lot of our current AIs don't really have the flexibility to allow you to basically switch the model. I can't really comment at future roadmaps at the moment, but I think that over time we might have flexibility in the industry to allow you to start integrating your own data centers, your own models for these AI features. It's just not something we see happening in the near future on our end.
Okay, fair. And okay, I think we do have time for one final question. Can we get some consultation on our library? We're going through a migration process right now.
Yeah, honestly, I think timing a readiness review during a migration is smart because you're touching on every asset, metadata, field, etc. So I actually would recommend you reach out to your MediaValet account manager, who will inform you on best practices on how to organize your DAM. And if needed, they can book a scoping call with our solutions engineering team.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think, folks, that's all we really have time for. Our next session is kicking off in about 15 minutes. That'll be a good one, so make sure you join. It's how PT Solutions have been scaling their creative content with MediaValet and Mark. So really appreciate you joining us today, Rishad and Kutibh. Really appreciate you jumping on and discussing AI and DAM and what's coming in the future. It's been really interested to hear about everything that's coming down the line.
Thank you, Ian. This has been a great opportunity and exciting days ahead.
Yeah, thank you.